哎，该不会不能读档吧 ？OK， 吓死我了。我昨天是玩到这里吗？
A few weeks after that dust up at the OK Corral, I was still after Johnny Ringo. I had tracked him and the cowboys to their hideout at a sawmill, and they were loaded for bear.
So, what exactly did Johnny Ringo do to piss you off?
Well, him and that other bastard.
Roscoe Bob Bryant?
Yep. They both deserve to die, and I promise I'll tell you why. But first I need to tell you about the Cowboys' new boss, Curly Bill Brocious.
Earth's coming!
Get ready, boys.
吓死我！那里怎么会藏一个人？ 回一下血，回一下血，左右左右。
You're done.
Curly Bill took charge of the Cowboys upon the old man's demise, and after that gunfight at the OK Corral, the Clantons wanted revenge.
互相单发的，我觉得还不如那个。
God damn, he's hard to hit.
So they murdered Morgan Earp and grievously wounded his older brother, Virgil.
I hit him! This some bitch is pissing me off! Hit him from the side!
Wyatt and Doc went on what became known as the Vendetta Ride, hunting those outlaws down. So when I showed up, that's who they thought I was.
哎呦，我也哎！
Murder that bastard!
我也吓无个人啊！
There were killers around every corner, all wearing red bandanas. That's how the Cowboys identified each other, and I was beginning to wish I had one myself.
You're dead!
But I wasn't about to let Ringo walk away unscathed, and that's what drove me forward.
They say that Ringo was infernally fast.
I hardly saw anyone faster, boy. Certainly not Wyatt Earp. That man was all hat and no cap.
Put some howls in him!
Earp wasn't much of a match for him, but Doc Holliday might have taken him.
That lunger should have kept his nose out of it. They never charged anyone for the murder of Morgan Earp.
熊熊长出来呢。可以，但是雾雾的，看不到闪哪边。
But everybody knew that Curly shot him in the back. That was common knowledge.
Yeah, maybe so. But Ringo had nothing to do with it. He was just being loyal to a friend.
Is that what you call it? Being loyal? Well, to get to that loyal friend, I had to pass by some buzzsaws as big as a man.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
What's that, Dwight?
After old man Clanton died, why didn't his son take over the Cowboys?
Because Ike Clanton was dumber than a box of rocks and a yellow belly to boot. Now, where was I?
Taking down the entire cowboy
Yeah.
gang single-handed.
Indeed I was, Jack. Though it wasn't easy, as those boys had good cover.
That's right. Run!
Man can shoot. Gotta give him that.
不用救。
Kill 'em all. You can't hide from me. You just make your match. You rule the day.
There he is. Ain't bothered me none. Oh, so you're hiding too now. In for the kill. You gonna need a cannon.
哦，是这种对。
God damn! Ah! He has it coming. What are you gonna do?
There were carts everywhere, piles of lumber, and God knows what else for people to hide behind. That really was one hell of a sawmill. Quite an impressive operation.
And where was Curly Bill? Did you see him?
I'm about to get to that, Ben. Patience. I'm painting a picture here. There was this beautiful waterfall and a crystal clear stream that led to a verdant valley that was truly...
Consider your picture painted. What happened next?
Well, finally the bastards that were still alive made a last stand.
"还会藏东西最麻烦。 可是如果要收集的话，点这个最好啦。但是，对啊，很慢，就是能用的很少啊，都很就是都很好用。我觉得它的现在的步枪还不好用啦，我还是比较多使用左轮。等一下，不好意思。
Curly Bill, Johnny Ringo, and his compadres took off into the lumber yard, and I followed after.
看来是掩体战哦。
Are you saying they ran? Cowardice was not in Ringo nor Curly Bill's nature.
No, sir. I never said they were running scared. They just wanted me out in the open.
Time to dance with the devil. Die! You're gonna working for Wyatt Earp.
哎，这不是他哎。
Earp send you to kill me?
哦，是啦，是他啦。
You working for Wyatt Earp? Why is he still standing? How you like that? Did that sumbitch Earp send you to kill me? Did you see that? Oh, wanna play hide and seek? Come on, kill that annoying son of a bitch! You can run, can't hide forever. Kill him! You asshole! Hope you made your peace, brother. They got wasted. Make him pay for that. You got a lot of sand showing up here all by your lonesome. You want some more? Shit! Hiding like a scared little puppy.
Brocious gave me no choice but to take his life. But Ringo was
为
nowhere
什么
to
他
be
可以有
found.
队友啊？
I knew you didn't kill Ringo, because he was found dead in a different location altogether.
To this day, his killer is still unknown.
Indeed. Took me a few months before I finally tracked his ass to West Turkey Creek Canyon.
哦，进来还是2个 BOSS 战吗？好烦哦！哦，是这个。
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
啊，这么专注已经这么高了，还这么偏哦！一开始。
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
没有拔枪，没有慢，是那个后面的那个瞄准，拔枪是快的。
Sorry I had to ruin the legend for you, boy. But the legend ain't always true. Doc Holliday had nothing to do with the death of Johnny Ringo. I was paid a healthy bounty for Ringo and Curly Bill, and realized there was real money to be made. That's why I went after Henry Plummer.
经验吧。
Now, wasn't he the sheriff who augmented his income by shaking down miners and robbing gold shipments?
That's the one.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. He ran that gang of thieving outlaws called the Innocents.
So it's true that you went toe-to-toe with him?
Indeed I did, son. Indeed I did. I knew I needed resources if I was going to track down Roscoe Bob Bryant, and hunting Plummer looked like a good way to get rich quick. As the local vigilantes exposed him as the leader of the bandits, and put a generous price on his head. Plummer rallied his gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape.
It makes
And that's
me
where I
nervous
thought I'd
getting
find
so
him.
close to all these goddamn barrels of gunpowder.
Why would you be nervous?
Yeah.
As my late father pointed out to me more than once, God made men, but Samuel Colt made them equal.
I'm ending you. Now you're really pissing me off.
他的换枪我还不太直觉。
I knew that dynamite wasn't mine, so I decided the polite thing would be to return it. It was the biggest gold rush since Sutter's Mill in '48. Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones drawn to those riches.
我觉得原本那个比较好用，完
There
了。
were thieves and killers, robbing travelers and hijacking gold shipments. Like those that ran with Plummer. Some were just regular folks I knew from town, drawn by greed and easy pickings. Charlie Crow, the blacksmith. James, who worked in the stable.
哇，没忘了。
Sam and Jeremiah Barber, the butcher's sons. Ordinary citizens who lived a double life. Stealing and thieving and murdering their neighbors.
Put some holes in him. shutting you down. Had enough?
他们这里都拿这个枪了。啊！不小心换到枪了，早知道不要换了。
Of course, the rest were veterans of the Civil War. Stone-cold killers trained on the bloody fields of Shiloh and Antietam. Plummer had a lot of men on his payroll. A hell of a lot. That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public with one hand while stealing them blind with the other. He set up a defensive perimeter which I had no idea how to breach.
This is our goal now. Oh, no, that was just too damn close. You can't beat the innocents.
Dangerous, desperate individuals. I was outnumbered and in way over my head, but I was too damn stubborn and stupid to realize it. They must have thought I was tough. Or had some kind of death wish. Seeing as there were barrels of gunpowder everywhere. I thought I was some kind of hero. I finally made it past and headed on to meet my destiny. But first, I had something I needed to figure out. I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine, but once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back. So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal. I saw an entrance. Made sense.
Let's do this.
It was the quickest way in, but that also made it more dangerous.
Do you know who
As there would undoubtedly be enemy pickets posted along the way.
Get out of here! Spread out! God damn you! You're dead.
Besides, once you enter a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around. And that confusing maze of corridors wouldn't even be the worst of it. Some of those shafts could be as deep as hell.
That's it for you.
A single stumble or misstep can easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion.
You must be about out of bullets. I will drop you down a mine shaft.
Quick reflexes often make up for a lack of common sense. Luckily, I was never one to be easily bushwhacked. I would just need to be careful not to blow myself to kingdom come. With all that gunpowder and dynamite everywhere, a body has to know what he's shooting at. All it takes is one tiny spark, and boom.
Boom.
Take that asshole out.
要引发他们攻击，
You
是
ain't
不
beefing
是？
me. You can run, but bitch. You can't hide.
One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad-blasted tomb. I freely admit that my plan of attack was not just moronic, but clearly insane. It's a good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried it.
哦，剧情杀。
Instead, I spotted a ladder, a way into the mine from the opposite side. It was a long way around, but that approach seemed more sensible at the time. Of course, being I had a problem with heights, that scaffolding scared the bejesus out of me. Climbing down that ladder required some caution, because even though I had a younger man's reflexes, no man can dodge a damn bullet while climbing down a rickety ladder. I needed to make a leap of faith, which ain't easy when you're suspended between heaven and hell.
这个，你确定？
I was determined not to give up, however. As Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character. When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was up to, people were outraged. That 10,000 they put on his head would go a long way to helping me find old Bob.
竟然是散弹。
Send him to hell!
And I had made it my mission to settle that score come hell or high water. But first, I would have to make a choice. Take the elevator or climb the ladder. I wanted to use the element of surprise. Plus, I figured I could use the exercise. I was warmed up already, so what the hell? Plummer was a mad dog killer. And the people of Nevada City deserved better.
Nevada City? Well, I thought Plummer met his maker in Bannock, Montana.
Right, well, he was the sheriff of both places at one time or another, but that's neither here nor there.
You ain't beefing me.
The point was, taking him down would save a lot of lives, including my own.
无赖，我看是完了，不然看这个形容。我们今天应该可以玩的是。
Gonna blow you into next week! This day is just getting worse and worse for you, ain't it?
Henry Plummer was clearly unhinged, And I could see right away that this was gonna take some doing.
I'm going all medieval on your ass.
Some help here!
Come on, boys! Take this cocksucker out!
Hey!
Can't believe you keep missing.
我靠！视角不好说。
Gonna hurt! Don't toy with him! Just kill him! I can shoot too!
That was too damn close!
You ain't taking me!
That moron out of his misery.
哎呦！
You can shoot, but can you aim? They're gonna need a dustpan to pick you up. You killed an innocent man. I'm going all medieval on your ass. You morons! No blood money for you today! They're gonna bury you in a million pieces! I can shoot too!
我靠嘞！他那个。
They're gonna bury you in a million pieces! This cocksucker is smarter than he looks! I'm going all medieval on your ass! You kill him, or I kill you! Boom! You ain't taking me! I can shoot too! Yeah, I need a dustpan to pick you up! Get out here! No blood money for you today! They're gonna bury you in a million pieces! How you like that?
哎呦，怎么那么多？耶！
I'm going all medieval on you.
我靠！如果按狙的话，它会直接丢上去吗？
Run! You can shoot, but can you aim? I got a lot more dynamite than you! I can shoot too! What do you think?
感觉这个没有比较赚。
I can shoot too! They're gonna need a dustpan to pick you up! Time to die! It's killed a lot of good men!
好嘞。
In a million pieces! You can shoot!
不是啊，但是我完全不知道他到底是那一波后面到底为什么？
They're gonna bury you in a million pieces! You must be about out of bullets. Who said you could throw dynamite? This cocksucker is smarter than he looks. I got a lot more dynamite than you. Run! Do you know who we are? Damn! That one! Didn't you? You ain't taking me! Oh, guess you've had enough! You can shoot, but can you aim? You kill him, or I kill you! What do you think you're doing? I'm going all medieval on your ass!
Wow.
I got a lot more dynamite than you! No blood money for you today! What do you think you're doing? Catch this, you son of a bitch! I can shoot too! This cocksucker is smarter than he looks! Run! I'm going all medieval on your ass! He's hurt now! Who said you could throw dynamite? What do you think you're doing?
So that's how Henry Plummer died. Him and his crew were worth their weight in gold. And now, I was officially a bounty hunter.
So, did you finally go after that Bob feller?
Well, I heard word he was in Kansas with John Wesley Hardin. So that's where I went.
Where in Kansas?
Abilene. Why do you ask, Ben?
No reason.
Was Hardin as fast as Ringo?
Ringo was fast, but John Wesley was as fast as the devil himself. Hell, he killed his first man at 15. From that day forward, he had a price on his head and wouldn't back down for nobody, not even Wild Bill Hickok himself. I dodged death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different. I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on John Wesley.
They shot Bill! Goddamn, he's hard to hit!
I thought the Texas Rangers got Hardin.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe. It was cold in a witch's tit and a brass bra that night as I fought my way past his loyal compadres to the very same saloon we're sitting in today. Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardin was waiting for me.
Ayan.
Wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch. He deserves that much. Don't you think so, Ben? John Wesley Hardin was a killer. By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men. He was a bona fide folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them.
God damn it! Shoot that son of a bitch!
They didn't ask why I was there. They knew, as most of them were wanted as well. I figured Hardin was here somewhere, but to get to him, I'd have to get past his gun hands. And that was easier said than done, as most of them were as foolish and full of bravado as I was. I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp. He was carousing in town with his closest friends. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the Bull's Head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their jefe of my unwelcomed presence.
Ventilate that sucker!
他们是铁打的，是不是？
Tell Hardin someone's coming for him!
Stop that sumbitch!
完了，我又换错枪了。
Let the boys know we got another law dog.
You can't hide from me.
好像还是左轮打比较远。
Get
换不了了。
Dead man.
Time to fill you full of lead.
I wondered if Bob was among them. And I steeled myself for the fight ahead. For as good as I was, deep down I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit better.
我就只能用这一把，是不是？
Before I could test my mettle against Hardin, however, I would first need to dispatch his cadre of hired killers. Most of these degenerates were beyond redemption, but John Wesley might have been a different story. I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration.
There he is. Son of a bitch. Can't get a good shot at him. Shoot him! Shoot him!
海龙狼。
Putting you down.
I think I already mentioned that I found Hardin in this very saloon. Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me.
我没有那个咯。抱歉，抱歉，抱歉，先走了，先走了。
Oh, he's hurt now. Kill him.
In fact, I felt a certain hostility.
Show him how to. Gotcha. You ain't beating me.
I was disappointed that neither Bob nor John Wesley were among the dead. But that was short-lived, as a moment later I was facing down the fastest gun in the West.
那这可能是拔枪哦。
I felt a bolt of adrenaline. Or maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him.
Huh?
No, wait. He didn't hit me then. I'm sure of it.
是要猜猜吗？直接用猜的，看不到哎。应该是猜的，用猜的。
That man was faster than greased lightning. But being inebriated as he was, he didn't count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
So he didn't die?
No, I sent him to prison. Years later, after he was free, some restless Avenger took his life. Shot him in the back in a saloon just like this one. Anybody up for another beer? Ben?
最后一关。
Thank you, darling. Yeah,
你
some
直接
say
进剧
revenge
情
is
应该
a
是有
dish
闪过他的
best
子弹就好
served
了。
cold.
So whatever happened to that Bob guy you were after?
Personally, I'd like to hear some of your other adventures. Like, I don't know, did you ever go toe-to-toe with a red man?
Yes, I did, Ben. I remember once I was after this renegade Apache, Grey Wolf. Strangely enough, revenge was also his primary motivation.
今天4张，想再跑2张，你看有没有办法？
A bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickled the nether regions of heaven. Grey Wolf was a Chiricahua Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his people. The U.S. Army had attacked his tribe during his daughter's sacred sunrise ceremony, and the slaughter was unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death. Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf was watching my every move. He led a band of young Apache warriors who wanted retribution and were more than willing to die for him.
They
saw me before I saw them. And it crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea.
哇，上面还有一个。它这边是剧情，可以现在看不到啊。
Before I saw them. and it crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But now that the shooting had started, there was no backing down.
哇靠！前面是这么酷。丢炸弹好了。
They saw me before I saw them.
他们的也太痛了吧
It was rugged country, the winter home of the Chiricahuas, and that's why they had retreated there. I admit to having some regrets about going after them the way I did. But then again, I got a lot of those.
没办法啊，捡不到啊，我都有碰啊，没有碰到那个。他们都不是拿那个。嗯。
Did you find Grey Wolf?
Not at that moment, but I did find the entrance to their hideout. A deep crevice that led to a deeper cave.
Don't tell me you went in there.
Yeah, but it's not out of bravery so much as pure, angry cussedness.
嗯？不可能！哦，会死，但是接对区。
See, back then, I had a stubborn streak a mile wide, and I wasn't about to back down.
So it was like pitch black in there?
Actually, it was pretty well lit, as they had torches on the walls.
那哦，最缓。
How big was this cave?
Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian Wars.
哎，哎，最烦的是你被打到。我靠，从这边来哦！我靠嘞！还是用散弹。
They thought it was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by the horse soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead Indian ghosts?
To be honest, I was more concerned with the live ones than the dead ones.
How come you know so much about engines?
A few years back, I was married to 2 Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there. Those girls never shut up. Both of them nagging at me all the time. Drove me half crazy. Haven't seen them since.
No, I mean, what happened with Grey Wolf?
Oh, well, I pursued him into the Cave of Death. I came upon this flooded grotto, and that's when I saw him. He came to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows, and I sensed he meant me no harm.
You carry great darkness in your heart, and if you do not release it, it will claim your soul.
The sound of his voice put some kind of ancient Indian spell on me. As his story unfolded in my mind,
you will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rainbow if the eye had no tears.
He said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
I didn't quite get what he was saying, but there was definitely snakes. And indeed, his warriors surrounded me and attacked me like hungry wolverines. They couldn't stop me, though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for idle talk.
还在水中移动超慢呐、是在靠哦。
I swear I couldn't see any way out of this trap. But suddenly, one just appeared. Kind of like a miracle. I felt like I would be lost in that damn cave forever. Finally, I found myself back outside, perched on the edge of a precipice, overlooking a thundering whitewater river. To get where I was going required several leaps of faith, but no way in hell I was turning back. I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo-jumbo.
Mumbo-jumbo is right. Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details may be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened. There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high.
Dozens?
Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them.
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that, little lady. I had a steep climb up creek ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat. I was determined to locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly what the hell he was trying to tell me. And wouldn't you know it, that crafty son of a bitch led me right into a trap.
What kind of trap?
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches surrounded.
100?
God be my witness.
Oh, come on. Who you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it ended.
All right, but I'm not gonna drag this out. Where were we?
You were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly, but there were a lot of them.
怎么活？我不懂啦，怎么开始臭了？这游戏。
And in the end, a path appeared before me that I had not seen before. I followed it as I desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me. But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air. Never did find him. And never did collect my goddamn bounty.
不知道为什么，我已经有点闻到这游戏的味道了。对啊，而且他那个枪战我觉得超不合理的，他一打也被打到，只要一有伤害，就会跑步很慢加模糊，那根本就不太懂。啊，又每次都是那种围攻战，到底想怎么样？休息一下。哇，再玩下去会没看机。而且玩到这边已经一半了耶。 好，我们再玩一关。哦，我的天！
Thank you, darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand. Those Daltons were lawmen once, before they all went bad, robbing banks and trains clear across the territory. Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up arms that day.
Fighting on the side of right?
I did my best, sir. We all did. It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob 2 banks at the same time. 2 banks on the same damn street. The story was Bob Dalton's girl was always riding him about how he had no ambition. Oh, you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeeville just to shut her up.
Right. It's always the woman's fault.
Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property. Their first mistake was pulling a job in their own damn hometown. The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently. First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months, and now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. This man had no intention of letting the Daltons slip away. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait to suck the bitches out.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns. He went in there alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
But he paid him no mind. He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
We've got company.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free. Like Jim Bowie and Davy Crockett, who died defending the Alamo.
Is that Silas Greaves? Son of a bitch!
Had enough?
Did that asshole just kill Red?
You ain't beating me, boy!
Over there! That's Silas Greaves! What the hell?
Blam! Blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons.
怎么一直在轮回？
His name was Silas Greaves, and when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened.
为了制造枪战，然后一直回忆错误的东西吗？
It was early evening, not high noon.
看来就是各自的回忆，然后我们都要玩，但他们的回忆不一定是对的。
Deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies.
对啊，我觉得这点没有很奇怪。
I had been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless.
Boy, you are shit out of luck.
And finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeyville.
Ain't bothered me none.
Hey, we got us a hero. Put some holes in him!
And those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions. I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. And they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those 2 families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeyville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens.
Where? 我什么都没看到。
The Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least 2 of them to escape. The 3rd brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work. It was Emmett, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Greaves. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. And I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
It's hog killing time. I'm gonna tear you apart.
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him? But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
霸气。哦，我觉得我需要冷静。对，我也想要选，就是下次再玩，因为这边已经确定就是跑到一半了，就是我们开2次，然后跑到一半这样。下面那个好像很长，下次再玩好了。我觉得我已经有点没耐心了。